We all do it. We put things off. Sometimes we call it procrastination, maybe we even chalk it up to being lazy. But what if it's not about laziness at all? What if there's something deeper, quieter, and way more powerful at play? Today, we're diving into the hidden psychology of delay. And this quote it gets right to the heart of the whole thing, doesn't it? Delay never really feels like an immediate threat. It's not like fear, where all the alarms in your head go off. It doesn't sting like failure does. No, it shows up disguised as a perfectly reasonable choice. A harmless little postponement. And that is precisely what makes it so incredibly dangerous.
So this is the big disconnect. On the surface, putting something off feels totally harmless. It feels reasonable, maybe even like the responsible thing to do. But the reality is, we're not making a logical choice. We are deploying a defense mechanism, a really powerful, unconscious effort to avoid feeling uncomfortable and to protect our own self-image from even the possibility of failure.
So, how does this deception work on us so well? That's what we're going to uncover in this first section. We're going to really understand its quiet, deceptive nature. This phrasing is just perfect. Delay isn't some loud command yelling at you. It's a subtle little whisper of, "not now." It's so gentle, so quiet, that we often don't even notice that life itself, opportunities, our own potential, is just quietly moving right on without us. So let's just get one thing straight right now. This is not about being lazy. We beat ourselves up with that label all the time, but the real story is so much deeper. Procrastination isn't some flaw in your character. It's a shield. It's our mind trying to protect us from something it thinks is a genuine threat. But a threat from what exactly? What are we so afraid of that we'd rather do absolutely nothing at all? Well, to answer that, we have to explore the mind's hidden defenses. Okay, so one of the biggest culprits here is what's called emotional avoidance. And the key distinction is so powerful. We delay tasks not because they're hard, but because they make us feel uncomfortable. The real roadblock isn't the action, it's the emotion tied to it.
Just think about it for a second. That tough conversation you need to have, that risky project at work, that one big decision. We're not really running from the work itself. We're running from the anxiety, the vulnerability, or the fear of being judged that the work kicks up inside us.
Now, what's so fascinating about our next defense mechanism is how productive it feels. I'm talking about overthinking. We get stuck in this endless loop of research and planning and analyzing, and we totally convince ourselves we're making progress. But in reality, it's often just a super sophisticated form of procrastination.
It's the perfect way to put it. We create this whole storm of mental activity, this tangled mess of thoughts, and it's all just to give ourselves a perfectly valid sounding excuse to avoid taking that one real-world action that actually feels risky.
And here's another powerful driver, the perfectionist trap. When your internal standard is perfect or nothing, just the simple act of starting can feel impossibly dangerous. That huge gap between a blank page and a flawless final product becomes this terrifying void. So of course, it feels safer to just never begin. This might just be the most powerful defense of them all: identity protection. We put things off to protect who we believe we are. And the logic is kind of simple. If I don't try, I can't fail. And if I don't fail, I get to hold on to this comforting identity of someone who could have succeeded. We're basically trading actual growth for the safety of potential.
So those are the defenses we all hide behind. But staying inside those walls, it comes at a cost. It creates this burden that we carry around every single day, the invisible weight of waiting. You see, delay is like a slow poison. Today, it's just one tiny decision to wait. No big deal, right? But over a month, that becomes a habit. A year later, it starts to feel like who you are. Oh, I'm just a procrastinator. And then a decade from now, it becomes the source of really deep regret. The cost is cumulative and it's quiet.
And the damage is very, very real. There's that constant, draining emotional weight of unfinished business hanging over you. There's the trap of false productivity, being busy all day without ever making real progress. And maybe the worst part is, with every single choice to delay, we just reinforce our own self-doubt. Our world just quietly shrinks.
Okay, so that's the problem, and yeah, it's heavy. But here's the good news: once you understand why you delay, you get the power to change how you act. It's time to find the path to action.
So what is the antidote to this whole quiet deception? How do we finally break the cycle? Well, the solution isn't about just finding more willpower. It's about being more tactical.
First, you shrink the action down to something ridiculously small. Next, you completely redefine what success means. It's not about finishing, it's about starting. Then, stop waiting around for motivation to strike and build a reliable structure instead. And finally, you just let each tiny action build on the last one, creating this unstoppable momentum.
This right here, this is the absolute game-changing shift. Stop waiting to feel ready. Motivation, it's a fickle guest. It comes and goes whenever it wants. Action, though, that's a choice. The real goal is to build a system, a structure that makes taking action the default setting, no matter how you feel in the moment.
And all of this leads us to one final, powerful mindset shift. It's about choosing commitment over confidence.
The choice, when you boil it all down, is this. Delay promises you comfort right now, but it almost always delivers regret later. Action, on the other hand, it demands effort now, but it is the only path that actually delivers clarity and growth.
This is such a profound truth to remember. We spend so much energy trying to avoid making mistakes, but the far greater punishment in life doesn't come from getting it wrong, it comes from hesitation. The real pain is in never finding out what could have been.
Look, if you take only one thing away from all of this today, let it be this. We think we need to feel ready before we act. It's the exact opposite. The act of moving, of just starting, that's what builds the feeling of readiness.
So, in the end, the ultimate enemy isn't getting it wrong. The true enemy, the one that quietly shrinks our lives and our potential, is the habit of not beginning.